Hello, welcome to another episode of which podcast is this? The Republic of Players podcast. This is episode 91. We're missing our usual host, Ron. He has a sore ear, a poor bugger. Hopefully he's back next week. And our best shout out to him. I have to make John a little bit.
Ali, I'm sorry, but just as you started talking there, your audio quality completely changed.
Did it?
Now it's better.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. How is everyone? I'm just going to see if I can fix this while I'm...
Good. I'm good, Betty. I'm keeping well. Gaming and doing my course. I'm just off a week off for the Easter.
Yeah.
So back at it again. And it's been fine.
You're glad to be back, John.
Oh yeah. It's doing something.
Yeah, I watched your video. It was very good. Enjoy them. You have to do more.
Thank you, Betty.
You have to do more of them. That's what we're talking about YouTubers this week. You're on my list. Hey, what's the crack? How you been, dude?
Relatively good. The good weather has me in a great mood, full of vitamin D.
Yeah. It's one day and we're
tomorrow.
like, oh, tomorrow. No, I'm not going outside tomorrow. I had sun yesterday. I'm back. I'm staying in today. No, it's good. It was a bit chilly now, but it'll warm up, I think, next few days. I'm sick to the heat of putting kerosene in the old the tank, so hopefully it stays away now.
Yeah.
But it's been good all in all. Gaming wise, I don't know. It's been rough. It's been rough for gaming last while. I'm like, where is the games? Please give me something.
Well, this is going to be, I think this will be the most sparse year ever in games.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
You can see
Resident
one's
Evil's
coming
out next month, though.
You can see, that's what's
Returnal's out in like a week or two.
Thing.
Not too bad. So I suppose we'll start off the way we start every week. Either we are representing what we want people to do, or representing what we want people to play. So, Aiden, what have you been playing or doing?
Playing wise, I'm still playing Destiny. This current season is one of the best they've ever done. If you ever want to get into that game, now is a really good time. I'm up to Trails of Cold Steel 4. I'm near the end of that series.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds impressive.
It's the game series. I was playing Trails of Cold Steel when this podcast started. Now I'm on 4. That is quickly become one of my favorite series I've ever played. It's
nice.
Just
Just moved out.
it's not for everybody, but if you like JRPGs, they are for you. It's an incredible experience. But the new game I've been playing is Outriders. I don't know if anyone else has tried it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So the best way to describe Outriders is it's Gears of War Diablo. It's the Gears of War style movement and shooting.
Yeah.
And with some abilities, you have 4 different class bases. You all have different abilities, and you do levels, you do expeditions, and you get loot. And you finish off a world tier, you go to the next world tier, you get better loot. It's just that. It's okay. I think if you like, I was never a big massive Gears of War fan, so the shooting isn't something I really enjoy. The abilities are pretty cool.
Is it FPS?
It is not third person.
Third person, yeah.
The shoulder,
Yeah.
It's a cover-based shooter, but I think fairly quickly you realize the cover's for your enemies and not for you.
Are they sponges?
The bosses are bullet sponges. The regular enemies aren't too bad. It all depends on your gear. It's kind of Borderlandsy in that stick and in that way.
Yeah.
The class I play is the Devastator. It's the tank class. You get health back by killing people that are close to you. Every class has a different way of healing, and Devastator they have teleports to people. It's all about keeping up close, using shotguns. And that's fun. You have a really good ability where you can create a wall that absorbs bullets, and then when the wall runs out, all the bullets go back at your opponents. Everybody dies. That's fun.
That just came out there recently, didn't it?
Yeah, it's out. It was out 2 weeks now. It launched on Game Pass. So
free.
Don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Don't think it's a $60 game or a €60 game. It's definitely a good Game Pass game. It's been riddled with technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of criticism by everyone. A lot of people don't like it straight off the bat.
The first weekend was real hard to get on. Then just there's a lot of bugs. But the major bug is if you try to play multiplayer, all your items might disappear.
Pretty bad one for an online multiplayer gear-based game.
It might be the worst looter shooter bug you could possibly get.
Imagine that happening in Destiny, Jesus.
Yeah, it wipes all of your gear. And the worst thing is they don't think they're going to be able to give you back what you got because of
Yikes.
it's that Borderlands thing of we have trillions of guns because of all the different random rolls that can be gotten. They're not sure if they'll be able to give you back exactly what you've lost, so that's a problem. But if you're playing a single player, that's not an issue. I've only been playing a single player so far.
Yeah,
I don't know if I love the game. I think it's fine. The writing is okay, but it's also I'm gonna spoil a quest on the game, and if you like this, you'll not like the game. There's a part of the game where a guy asks you to help. He's in a massive debt to a money launderer or a money lender, and he asks you to help him with that. You go to the money launderer or the money lender, and he's like, "Okay, we'll clear the debt. We'll play a game of Russian roulette."
Oh my god!
So he picks up the gun and shoots himself. Nothing happens, and he passes the gun to you. In the world of Outriders, you are an altered, which means you're basically God. So you pick the gun, you actually shoot yourself in the head, you slump down, and then you get back up again, and your eyes glow, and you pass the gun back to him, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And you're like, "Oh yeah, sure, it's fine. There's only one bullet in the gun, isn't there?" And he looks at the gun, and he's like, "If you don't pull that trigger, I will." So the guy picks up the gun and kills himself.
Jesus.
And that's the death sorted. So if that sort of edgy stupidity is what you like, Outriders is probably for you.
It's all right.
Not too bad, I suppose. It's jumping straight to the on the edge of stuff, trying to be a bit edgy.
It's very edgy. It's very grimdark. If anybody knows, like from Warhammer, everything's bad. Everything, the world is fucked.
The world is fucked.
The abilities are fun.
Hello, Sergi. Welcome. Anyone else watching? Thank you for watching. I probably should have left it run a bit longer. People are probably used to us going live a bit later.
Yeah, when we're on time, it's like, what?
Whoa, lads, whoa. John, what's cracking to you? What have you been doing? What have you been playing?
I want to quickly talk about two things, but very quickly. Something I've been watching recently, which I don't know how many people are watching it. I know all the lads that I hang out with in Thurles were sleeping on it, because I've been slowly introducing it to them, and they've all been loving it so far. But a show on Amazon Prime called Invincible.
Yeah, we were chatting about it yesterday on the podcast.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
I missed that. I apologize, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's decent.
It's like
Aiden said it's a rip off.
It's a rip off of which?
No, Brian's is a rip off.
That was a funny joke.
That was a reductive way of describing it.
They're trying counterparts of the Justice League. So it's like,
basically,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
The first episode.
The first episode, yeah. But like, that's exactly it as well. Like, obviously, no spoilers. But like, if you don't know, like, it's by the same guy who made The Walking Dead. The comic is based on a comic by him and other people. But it's basically.
I have spoiled the first episode on this channel before, so you can probably do that.
I'll do my. But what I will say is that it's because it starts off kind of like a normal superhero thing. Like, it's a bit like when you're watching it, you're like, this could nearly be like a Batman the animated series or something. Obviously better writer or something and writing, but like, it's like fairly tame. And then those last 10 minutes of the first episode, you're like, wait, what just happened? And then you're like, I remember Robert Kirkman. Okay, that makes sense.
It very quickly goes from being a show you could show to kids to a show you could not show to kids.
And it kind of keeps that aesthetic that, like, when I describe it to people, they're like, oh, it must be very violent. And I'm like, yeah, in parts. Yes. But like, it's also like, it's also got like really, really good writing. And for me personally, I think it's genuinely funny. Like, I think like the jokes land, and even some of the villains, the villain that's like the earthquake guy who had a PhD in sociology as well. Is fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, it's just a really good show. I'd highly recommend it. It's a play on superheroes again. Like, you've probably seen something similar to it. A lot of people ask me, is it like The Boys? And I'm like, not really. No. It's just that they're superheroes and that it's violent on occasions. That's like, it's not as gritty, or it's more like a comic book, like a Justice League or something. Like, it actually holds its inspirations on its sleeve. And like for a lot of the duration of any episode, it just kind of plays out as like a normal comic book thing. Like it's not like completely and utterly dark, depressing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Aiden's laugh first time I didn't bloody freeze last night, all then it freeze straight away. Damn camera! Don't buy expensive cameras.
I'd highly recommend that. But the other thing, what I've been playing, and Paddy, you're going to love this, is over the last 2 weeks, really over the weekend I was off as well. I started again from the start because I never finished it, but I'm finished now, and I finally finished God of War.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice. That's the first time ever.
Yeah, like I was actually surprised how far I was actually into it when I replayed it.
Yeah,
like
you started from the start, did you?
I started from the start because it was so long. I played it when it came out, like, and I was actually like more than 2/3 of the way through the game because there was very little less I actually had to do.
Did you finish after the credits? Did you play after that?
I played on.
There's a part after the credits again. There's a secret ending to it.
You have to go home or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gone home yet.
Okay,
but I watched that.
Yeah,
I know the thing because I won't say the spoiler, but the thing I always heard about God of War, and I was surprised when this has actually never been spoiled on me, and when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I can't believe that wasn't spoiled on me because the spoiler I kept hearing was, you see headlines on YouTube videos. Kratos says Arceus' real name. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder what that is. And that was never spoiled on me. So when that happened, I was like, oh that's kind of cool. Yeah. Wonder where the hell they're going with that. But yeah, no, very good. And what I will say is that came out, 2019, the same year as Red Dead Redemption 2. And I always said, like, hands down, my game of the year that year was, or was it 2018? What year was Sekiro?
It's the same date. No, it was the same year as Red Dead, definitely.
But it wasn't the same year as Sekiro, was it? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, no.
No, I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
So it might have been 2018, I can't remember. But, like, I was always saying that, like, Red Dead Redemption 2, hands down, was my game of the year. Now I'm not too sure. Because God of War, legitimately, I never went home, and I thought I might have to go home, but you can still play on after you go home, right?
I think you can, but I never did. I just went home, and I think that just ends the game.
Oh, well, see, that I don't want that. I see, because I was legitimately, because that's what I'm saying. Not often in games that when I finish it, I want to go around and do all the stuff I haven't done.
I actually do remember that you can finish the game, but you can go back again into the game. Okay. So you'll just go back to the house again. It'll start you there again.
Oh, but that's New Game Plus.
Yeah.
See, I want to finish off all the stuff now. Yeah, so I won't go back to the house just yet. But like that's what I'm saying. I've never had that urge in many video games to go back and actually finish well. I'm not a completionist.
Yeah.
But I cleared it like we'll say 2 days ago, and I have been still playing it, going around trying to find all the Valkyries.
It's an Unreal game.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
I was so in depth in the story. I loved it the whole way along. They bring you the whole way, like you dive in and you feel like you're a big part of it, and there's constant story going on. Even the head chatting away.
Mimir.
Yeah, Mimir chatting away to you, filling in the voids of empty speaking, and he takes over in the boat, and you know it's very well.
And he's still going on. And I love it. He's still going on. Like I cleared the game like 2 days ago, and every single time I get into the boat, he's still telling me a new story.
He's telling you different stories,
but like
Norse mythology and everything like that. It's very, very good.
And like
Kratos telling fables as well is very fun.
Yeah, but
I love that bit.
that was actually a great. Again, there's no real spoilers here. I know it's an old ass game.
It's a cool game, yeah.
But like that was a great character arc where the whole thing was Kratos can't tell a story, and he's like the hare and the tortoise had a race, but the hare was foolish and the tortoise won. It's like that's not how you tell a story, Kratos. And then at the end, where he's telling a very important story to his son, he tells it really like majestic and awesome, and it's a really awesome moment. And actually, it's like, you did it. You told the story properly. I was like, it was such a great character arc.
Yeah. The whole story itself, even Kratos as a character, the way they changed him from being such a thick-headed prick, basically from the original games, and made him grow up, and even through the first half of the game, you're like, what happened? Why? Yeah. How did he get here? And you know, and that kind of the whole game flips halfway through. I don't care spoilers. The game is old.
You walk away.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The game is so old now. And then you get back his was it the swords he has?
Oh, the Sparta, whatever.
Yeah, very good, and it flips the whole story, and you feel like you're in a new game nearly. When you go back to that part, you go and fight. Isn't it? He has them buried, and you have to go get them. It's a very good game. One of my favorite games.
Yeah, you have to go to Helheim, and that's filled with frost enemies. Like your axe is going to be no good. And he's like, well, I've got to go and dig up my past.
Yeah. I got to tell you a story.
Fantastic.
I got to tell you a story. And he just goes back and shows you exactly what happened and how he got there. It's brilliant. I can't wait for the next one. And when you go home, it connects to what the next game is going to be about. So it's
we know is which everyone knows is Ragnarok. But like that's going to be
that game.
Hi. You want to finish it?
I should finish that game.
You should.
Oh, it's very good. And again,
I played a third of it, and whatever happened, I ended up lending it to somebody and not finishing it. But I intend to finish it.
The fighting is fantastic. Like there's not like
the Baldur showing up in that first boss fight is incredible.
Oh, the stranger.
One of the best opening scenes of a game ever, in my opinion. Anyway, brilliant.
No, my turn. He punches you. You go fly. Oh no,
because it goes from that way of this is the new God of War to going. There's still a little bit of the old God of War there.
It's and what I love it really is like it feels like a superhero fight. It feels like something or Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
it feels like something like literally throwing people through mountains and stuff. It's so good. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know you love it, Paddy. Honestly, it's definitely as good as Red Dead Redemption.
I'm very
2.
sure.
It's not better.
I'm very sure it came out the same year as Red Dead Redemption.
It did because I remember having to pick between. And them. I hadn't finished God of War, and so I was like,
you can think about them. 2 games came out the same year, and then the next year. That's why I always complain because it's just my type of game. It's just
It was like Sekiro versus. It was like Sekiro versus Death Stranding, and Control was the year after. Were some of the big ones.
Those 2 games came out. One of them played real well, and the other was Red Dead Redemption 2.
I like Red Dead Redemption 2. But like, to be honest, I'm very much a story kind of game. I love story games. So like, even if Red Dead Redemption 2 played like a clunky piece of shit, I still like the story. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's what really I really go for. Even though it was dragged out a little bit, the prologue and the fucking epilogue and all that crap was too much. But like, I get what they're doing because they did it in the other game. So like, they just had to keep matching that same premise.
I watched a load of Red Dead Redemption 2 being played, and I found that very enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I thought playing it was a disaster.
You didn't like playing it. Well, that's fair. A lot of people feel like that. Pat hates it.
I also had that awful glitch that happened in the middle of the first chapter where 4 of the NPCs from the camp disappear and you can't get them back, so you have to start the game over again. And like fuck was I going through that ice place again.
It is probably a pretty great game to watch. I'd agree with that. It's been great. The story is
incredible. Like watching that was amazing. But
it's kind of like, a lot of the time as well. It's like, what's your man? Is it Duke or something? And you're just like, would you just cop on? Come on now. You know what he's doing. You know
Dutch.
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 Dutch is taking all the money. Dutch is saying, I've got a plan.
I have a plan, Arthur.
You have to trust me, Arthur.
We're going to go to Tahiti. Dutch, you keep talking about damn Tahiti.
For myself, I've been back playing the Call of Duty. What's the Warzone. I started playing Warzone with a couple of guys. I haven't been gaming that much, and it's like just jumping in and having the crack at the weekend, and it's decent enough. It hasn't changed that much since I last played it. It's still the same. It's not fast. It's not slow. It's Call of Duty, so that's that's the only way to describe it. It's like it isn't
fast, but dying is.
I find it's definitely people's. I'd say the average gamer's battle royale. I think it's very easy for Call of Duty players, especially. They don't like Fortnite.
I loved it when I played it.
Yeah, they don't like Fortnite. They don't like Apex. They don't like PUBG.
He's talking about me, folks.
No, but there's a few out there. Like I've tried to get other lads onto Apex, and it's like, no way am I going near Apex.
I like Apex.
Apex is a great game. Apex is the one I always play by myself. I don't care. I love Apex. It's very fast. It's fast paced, and I love it. But it's very hard to get them off. It's just Call of Duty. I think it's because it's been around for so long. It's just it's the norm. And that's it. They've made their place. Fair play to them. I say fair play to them.
Just don't ask me to build, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
but you get used to it. I'm telling you, you play Fortnite for a while, and
I don't want to get used to it. Basically, it's like fighting game combos in a first-person shooter.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I love Fortnite as well. I did anyway. It's a bit different now.
I find the shooting. I would have loved the no building version of Fortnite.
But you could probably do it now because if you start and you think they're just adding loads of bots to it.
Yeah,
there's tons and tons of bots. One of my friends actually jumped onto it, and he never ever played Fortnite before. And I could not get a game without bots being absolutely smashing us. So we won like
Yeah.
4 or 5 games in a row, and I was just boring to them because there was no challenge compared to real Fortnite, where you'll get wiped out in seconds by really good players.
That's what happened to me when I played PUBG Mobile. I won my first game.
Yeah.
But it was all bots.
No, that's it. Bots. I have a lot of people because they'd be like, sometimes you'd be describing Fortnite to people and they'd be like, oh, it's so hard. It'll take you so long. Because the first time I played, it took me 6-7 months to get a win because it was that hard and it was that hard to learn. After that, it wasn't to get a win every now and again. But like when you're going to it now, brand new game, you'll win your first game because it'll just be bots. And people will be like, I'm good at this game. You're shit. Well, thank you. We'll move on to the old news, I suppose. I had it opened up and now it's gone. Do you ever open up like 20
News of
different
the
things?
world.
Always.
News of the world.
I think I can probably see 50 tabs.
Oh, mine. Well, I definitely always. I'm very bad for it. Sometimes they go in the course and stuff. They'd ask you to share your screen or something, and then they see the bottom of it. Tabs just opened up. Anyone watching, please do hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Mr. Fogarty was good enough to do our notes for us today, so thank you very much. And Pat did our thumbnail. So shout out to them, boys. Let me see if this is actually in the news. Did you put in about The Last of Us 2? You probably start off with that.
It is. It's a part of the first story. I actually had them as two separate stories.
It is a part of the first story. Okay.
No, I had them as two separate stories, but then I realized they talk about it in the second paragraph.
Okay, let's go. It seems that Days Gone 2 isn't going to happen, sadly. The zombie apocalypse game had a sequel pitched to Sony, but the gaming giant turned it down after the first title didn't perform as planned. A new report confirms that although the bugs are fixed and the game still has fans, it wasn't enough to get a second game rolling. Bloomberg has released a report. Next paragraph is Bloomberg has released a new report that has taken a look at the internal AAA forward process at Sony. Right now, the company is prioritizing making games that they know will be a success in the Western markets. This means instead of making a Days Gone sequel, Sony has greenlit a remake of The Last of Us and yet another Uncharted game, it seems. Like this is we don't write this was taken from Gaming Bible or whatever, but this is a bit misleading. Sony lit this game in 2018. It's nothing to do with Days Gone. Just because it did say where the original article came out of, it says on the article that Sony has been talking about since 2018 to bring this game out. I just because they need to put that. It is a big deal this week. There's people going nuts. Roland is going nuts about it. He hates it.
I saw him on Twitter.
Yeah, he hates it too, which is fair enough. I get it. There's a lot of people annoyed. And to be honest, it came out today about Xbox as well. They don't have exclusives either. They've got like 1 or 2. So the gaming giants are kind of more worried about their hardware at the minute. Let's face it. That's what they're focused on at the minute. We're going to get games. I understand with the Days Gone thing. I didn't like it personally. I played for a while.
Yeah.
It felt like Far Cry to me, kind of like the Far Cry where there's just hordes of stuff coming at you. You have to get away. Maybe it's better now. I think some people said it is better now.
But the writing was terrible as well.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Like, I love zombies. I love a zombie game, and it felt like it was nearly there, but it just didn't. It was just too much, if you get me. It didn't feel like you were trying to survive. It just felt like you were just smashing bullets, sponging zombies. You like it, John, do you?
I did. I actually did like Days Gone. I thought it was a relatively solid game. I'd agree with the story isn't that special. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a generic enough story. Yeah. It also it's way too long. I know I said I liked it, but I'm going to start with the negatives first. It's way too long. Do
you think the games are all
hours?
Is it?
Sorry?
It's like 80-90 hours.
If you wanted to 100% it, yeah. But the load of side stuff you have to do. But the campaign is a good 30, 35 hours, I think.
Do you think that's what's gone wrong with gaming lately? It's like they have to have so much story, they have to have so much time, they have to make such big games.
I've been saying it for a while. Yeah. We love them here, but they will say made this a kind of a thing. I didn't make it a thing, but they're one of the proponents of it. I call it the Ubisoft experience, like the Assassin's Creeds and the
bigger.
I have open world fatigue so much.
Oh, it's 100% same. Which is strange because I know it was like a few years ago, but for some reason I finished Days Gone, and I didn't have it too bad. But you see, I'm not the kind of I said this. That's why it's so surprising in God of War. When I finish a game story, I don't go back and do the 20 extra hordes. I'm like, I do this. I'm done.
Yeah, as soon as I see credits, I'm done as well.
Yeah. So, but no, but what I did like about I actually really liked the gameplay of it. I know people are saying like it's you're just shooting a bullet spongy zombies, but
There's football on tonight, is there?
Europa League.
Yeah. I thought so.
But
Man United's playing. Arsenal's
yeah,
playing.
they're playing me granddad. No, they're playing Granada.
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 But no, I really like the mobs, and I really like that whole thing, and it is really impressive when you see the amount that are chasing you. And the first time, it does get a little bit arbitrary when you get used to it, but the first time you see that freaking horde coming at you, it's actually like, oh my Jesus. I was trying to think, there's a few words get to my head.
My lord.
Like, oh my lord. But no, I like that, and I'm a weirdo. I like in Red Dead Redemption, like I didn't fast travel as much as I needed to because I just like going on the horse and traveling and looking at the scenery. I was a little bit the same with the bike in Days Gone. I like just driving around the place on the bike for like 10 minutes and without actually doing anything.
One of my mates used to love just, in Grand Theft Auto, like one of the Grand Theft Auto, just getting in the car and feel like he's driving around like New York or something. He loved it. I suppose like if it is really set, like looking like he just loved the skyscrapers. He loved all the like scenery. That's what you want now. VR, just straight up, just driving around. That'd be awesome.
Well, and as well, if that is true, and I'm not saying it's not, I agree with you. Like I didn't know about the Last of Us being greenlit since 2018. So a main point for me on this one was going to be like the fact that they are going with the surefire 100% hits, which could be a problem for. I know Days Gone in no regard is a freaking indie game, but you know what I mean? Like smaller games that are more of a risk aren't going to be taken up is a little bit. Again,
I don't know if that's true. I just don't get it because there's so many.
If it's not true, it's not true. That's fair.
Well, this is after them closing Japan studio, which is
true.
Which is Sony's studio known most for their weird creative games. Also, I think if the Last of Us remake was greenlit in 2018, that's worse.
Why?
That's way worse.
But I don't think so. I think it's a business plan. I don't think it's like it's something we're gonna do this and this. When that
game isn't 10 years old.
I get that, but when that TV show comes out, it's going to bring the game up to another level. It's going to make people that have never seen the game before want to play the game. It's going to bring.
Still looks good. It has a PS4
I understand that, but that's the reason they're doing it.
It has an HD remaster as well.
Yeah, but
that's already been remastered.
But that's why they're doing it.
But then, in less than 10 years, you're going to have a game, a remaster, and a remake. That's a terrible precedent to settle for.
I don't think.
Who wants a remake of The Last of Us? Can I just say that as well?
Exactly.
Who actually wants it?
New people.
I don't think like
I honestly do think it'll relaunch it.
I think then they're, and I'm going to say this, I think they're underestimating the market, because I know you're saying, there's going to be these people who don't know anything about games and they want people to play The Last of Us.
When's that TV show coming out?
People who don't know about The Last of Us, the game. Sorry, people who haven't played the game still know about the game. It's still what got this TV show in production was how good that freaking game is. Like how good, how hard the performances, everything. Is it going to be recast? Like it boggles my mind. I think it's one of the weirdest and stupidest decisions ever. Honestly,
I actually do think it was just a business plan. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Show in 2018.
I think they have it. No, but I think they have it in their minds for a while. I know you probably don't see it coming, but this only have to come out. It definitely says in that article 2018. I think it's a business plan. We'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do the other thing. It doesn't matter. It's actually going to happen. That's the thing. I know they say it's greenlit, but I think that's bullshit. Like, I honestly think this is all rumors, and this is rumors, and that is rumors, and Sony's getting. They got rid of the PSP and the PS3 thing, and let's keep. Schreier. What's that?
This came from Jason Schreier, and like there is.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know
there's no more like reliable source in the world than him. That's the reason this has been taken so seriously.
Well, I get it, but I like, to be honest.
Anyone who thinks that the TV show is going to come out and they need a new game is really overestimating the amount of people that would turn to games after watching the TV show.
Yeah, but I think that TV show is going to be a massive hit. I honestly do. I
don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, but I don't see how a new game.
It'd be like a collector's edition, fucking TV. Like it'll do something that'll be along with collectors with the film or something. It'll do something like that. But if it does happen, I don't think it's going to happen. It's
hope it
personal.
doesn't.
I think, and everyone's so mad, and it's because of the getting rid of the fucking backlog the week before, and everyone's running off that train. It's like you're doing
That and closing
Yeah.
Sony Japan Studio.
Yeah,
Also,
that's it, the train, like it's building up.
And also, I think if it's an actual remake of the story of the first one,
Yeah.
I'm mad because I think that's a genuinely stupid and actually kind of disgusting decision. Honestly,
Yeah, I get you. A lot of people want the TV show to be a
genuinely-
different story.
I feel like it'll be a remake of the first
well, not even
one.
the show, just the game,
Like
the new game.
this is of the new actors to play the characters. I think that's all it's ever going to
I
be.
don't want to remake it. I love The Last of Us. I love it. First game is brilliant, and I wouldn't want to remaster it again. They've like a remake or whatever the hell they want to do. Maybe if they want to bring out a Last of Us 3, different story, maybe from the first. Like even if they want to go back to the first story, but have it from a different perspective of someone else, something else.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, something was going on at the exact same time. Why not? Like change it up. You could keep, like they're obviously going to keep chunking this world out because it's a big hit. But
That's not a remake. That's
a new game. That's a new game. Yeah, maybe that.
I'd have no problem with that.
Like even when we talked about the TV show coming out, I mean, we were talking about the TV show coming out for a good while now. Even this podcast, like last 2-3 years, like a lot of people are saying they don't want the TV show to be a remake of the game. They want a new story as well. They want it from different characters from that world.
I think that's also a bad idea.
Do you think so? Well, it's not. It's a bad idea because you don't know what's going to work. I agree.
But no, I also think that the potential people that have played the first game compared to the potential people that could watch a show, is so minuscule that you may as well do the original story as a show.
Even the opening of The Last of Us, it just sets the game. Like it's brilliant, and we can't spoil that. I'm sorry. like his daughter dies, and like it sets the game, and you're hooked. I don't care. The game is so old. Like,
and again, this is the first.
As a way of spoiling
minutes.
that was kind of terrible. That's not. There's way more to it than that.
Well, she dies. That's the main point of it, though. Am I wrong? That's the main point.
She died, and it's heartbreaking.
Well, kind of heartbreaking. It's kind of hard. It's kind of like as well, like the way she dies then, and then it cuts to the future, and then you like the girl's involved, and you're like, is that his daughter? Is this? And then it's not, and it's like, oh, okay. That's kind of
that's really great storytelling.
And they barely talk about it the whole way. You never really hear about the daughter at all, and that's good storytelling too. He just keeps it in, doesn't bring it up. It's good. If you haven't played The Last of Us, I'm sorry. If you want the remake, it's coming.
There you go. You'll play it then. But again, I have no problem with TV show. That wasn't my point. I think a TV show is fine.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no problem either. It's just the anger. The anger in the gaming community.
The anger is coming from Jim Ryan making a lot of anti-consumer choices while Xbox is on a roll.
I think they're on a roll in like a certain way with the development of their brand. It's going well. I don't know about games. Like I honestly don't know.
They're going to have Elder Scrolls 6 as an exclusive. Yeah. And everybody knows it.
Like a lot of people I've seen, like there's some people out there now that are egging, Xbox is going to be great, Xbox is great. I was like, it doesn't matter. like both of them, let both of them be great. Stop it. Just stop.
I want them both to be great, but I find the choices so Sony making to be really.
I agree with Aiden on that one.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I said, I put up a thing in a post. I said it's only going to take a couple of decisions to bring that back. Like, do you know what I mean?
This is every game generation.
Yeah.
Whoever's winning the last generation is on their high horse and thinking they can't be touched, while the other guys are making all the good choices, and it flips.
But like, all that Sony has to do is sit down one day and say, look, get more games on their Sony, or, is it now? PlayStation Now?
Yeah, nobody's ever going to. They need to rebrand PlayStation Now is a different thing. Nobody's ever going to go towards that.
Not rebrand it, but put more games into it. I mean, more.
No, they need to rebrand it and have it as a download thing and not a streaming thing. People don't want it.
You can download it.
You can download stuff on PlayStation.
You can download it now. Yeah, you can now. They changed that last year.
Okay, I didn't know.
No, you can. But I've done it.
They definitely.
It's actually not that bad.
They need to tell people because I didn't know.
I got Dead Cells off it a while ago. You can download.
You can download away. But I think they need to do that and put more Games Pass and open up that bring the old games onto it. That'll make a lot of people happy.
They have no interest in old games. One of
but that's what they need to change that and do that and maybe update.
They need to change people for that because Jim Ryan's never going to change that opinion. He genuinely
like a few more games as well. We're all missing games. That's what I'm missing. A few games. We're missing
a few old games for the lads is all we're
games, lads.
Also, this story came the week after Sony Studios MLB The Show is launching as a Game Pass game.
Nice.
And people are
Ubisoft, I don't have this on the chat.
Sad.
Ubisoft launched a channel yesterday. I got it in an email. I should have put it in. They launched an eSport channel. I think it is. Which
Nice.
is good to watch. Let me see. Next bit. Ludwig. I didn't even know this happened. This has happened in the last month. I didn't even know about
I've been paying attention.
Ludwig breaks Ninja's Twitch sub record after streaming for 31 straight days. He slept. Doesn't count. It took 31 days of non-stop streaming, but variety streamer Ludwig Ardgren has finally broken all-time Twitch record of 269,154. Glad I got that right. Set by Ninja all the way back in 2018. There it is. Except for Ninja did it in like one day. So screw you, Ludwig. There it is. You were here.
Oh, he
This is
didn't.
new record on Twitch. And that night he was playing with the thing. He pushed that record. He got like 100,000 straight in one night or something.
Yeah, it wasn't the full record, but it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It's what pushed him over.
Still,
That was
pretty big.
him breaking the record for the first time.
But it wouldn't take 131 days. Now, come on. The achievement comes
Well, it
just.
took years.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
For Ninja to get to
Yeah, but how did
269.
what did Ludwig have? What did Ludwig have?
50.
Yeah.
50.
No, he didn't have 50. He's been streaming. He's a pretty big streamer. He's
He
been
had
streaming
30
among
to
us.
50. He had 30 to 50,000.
Oh,
So-
I thought he said you
50.
said 50,000. You said 50.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I was like, no, he's not. No.
I thought it was well known. We're talking in the thousands now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some of us have 50. No, go on. He announced an audience of over 80,000 just to hit his sub
There you
count
go.
cross the threshold. The achievement comes just as Ludwig is preparing to wrap up a month-long subathon. It wasn't supposed to go that long. Ludwig began streaming on March 14 with a simple rule. Each sub adds 10 seconds to the countdown clock that signals the end of the show. That was 4 weeks ago. Viewers kept the never-ending dream alive with a ridiculous amount of time, but Ludwig is finally pulling the plug tonight, April 13th at 9 p.m. for some well-needed time from the webcam. Given the chance, the subathon could probably continue indefinitely.
It would have. I swear to God, it would have. He was like in again. It was YouTuber Moist Critical who put it in the best way possible. He was like he's like he's in prison, but with the nicest jailers ever who are just throwing money at him.
sounds like a good prison to me.
It would have gone on forever. I swear to God, it would have gone forever.
Did you actually look at it? I didn't even know what was going on. I don't know who Ludwig
No,
is. to be honest.
I was watching it off and on just for sheer spectacle. It's crazy. Like there was times it got very close. He got down to 1 second before, and it's just the fact that like because he knows that there's a delay, and so like if you sub like I think it was like a 10-second delay. So if you subbed with like 8 seconds to go and you were the only sub, it would have actually ended. So when he saw it down to 1 second a few times, he actually thought it was over. But it's a great achievement, I think. Like he actually is.
It's
if you
going
watch
to
him,
be a thing now. That's the thing.
well,
It's going to be a thing.
subathons are a
This
thing.
one's
He
gonna be.
did-
Someone's gonna be like, "We're gonna start this. Let's do it. We're gonna beat these." And like some communities will do it. Like
You see, the thing about it is he didn't just end it after a month because he was tired or because blah blah. He streamed the day after. He says he loves streaming. He said he would have kept it going on forever.
I love streaming too. If I got that much money.
He wanted to break Ninja's record. That's what he wanted to do. And a lot of the subs he was getting were 1 month Twitch Primes. So after 30 days, he would have lost like 100,000 or something subscribers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, he actually pushed the last day. He did some great stuff as well because on the last day, every single sub he got, he had to get something like 4,000 subs an hour to beat the record. And every single sub he got on the last day, he gave the full $5 amount to charity. And even through the whole charity stream, he was given $1 from the subs to charity. So he made an he don't get me wrong, he made an absolute fortune. But he also
Gave away 330,000 to charity.
yeah, and he also paid all his
He
mods.
only made like much you get as a partner. Actually, I don't know. Would you get more of it than you definitely get it more as affiliate? I'd say that you probably get £3 instead of $2.50. Would you?
I actually don't know. I've never looked into it, Paddy. But he paid all his mods as well. And the stories coming out that like the money that one of his mods got, I was able to pay off their credit card loans from modding for Ludwig for a month. But he
That seems like a genuine good guy.
oh no, he's not only that, and I know people and people rip on it as well, like, oh, but like he slept for like 8 hours a night, and like people were watching the man sleep and stuff, which is true. But like when he is actually streaming, he's genuinely entertaining. He's like upbeat. He's like nice. He's definitely the opposite of like a toxic guy, and like he's actually kind of funny. Like I did shoot in on him a few times, and and a lot of the stuff he was doing, like he started off like with Smash, and then he plays a lot of like Mario games and stuff, and then he really blew up because he used to play Minecraft, and then he got into Among Us, and then he got into the Among Us crew with like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and all them, the YouTube crew, and that's what really blew him up because he's only been streaming for the last 2 years, and he is absolutely killing it now. Top subscribed person on Twitch, but I like it, and yeah, it was fun. I tuned in and out.
I didn't know what happened to the end.
Yeah, I like what he was doing. Like when he was sleeping, he let his mods just like have podcasts and stuff on, stream and stuff.
Yeah,
things like that were cool.
And that's why he was paying them, because the mods were literally taking over the stream for 8 hours, like every night.
Yeah. And I love the fact that he's like, I've never lived healthier in my life. He had 3 square meals a day. Exercise
it was like prison. He used to do sleeping streams. He did cooking streams because he had to eat. So it's like, I know, I'm going to show you that I'm cooking.
I thought it was against the rules on Twitch to sleep.
No.
No, there's sleeping streams. Well, actually, you know what? It probably isn't, Aiden, but what I was going to say is actually on YouTube. I know there's another streamer, Too Mad, on YouTube, who used to do sleeping streams. It was like he kind of invented them. And what he used to do was have a really big, loud speaker, so that when donations came in, they were really loud. And like him trying to sleep during the night, and then like people, and like he's also kind of we'll say an on PC sort of streamer, so obviously you can't mod it. So the things that used to come out of that speaker, let's just say.
Oh Jesus! But yeah, I remember every time there's a major like Destiny mystery event on that requires like everybody to help solve a thing. Glad, who's like one of the biggest Destiny streamers, almost always streams himself sleeping, and he makes a fortune.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever stream myself sleeping. Don't anyone sees that. I don't think they'll pay me to turn off the stream. Would you stream for 31 days, John?
If it was the same setup and the reason why it was happening was because I was getting the same money as Ludwig, then yes.
Would you, Aiden?
Oh, of course.
Not for no reason.
No. That 24-hour stream nearly killed me, so I'd have to sleep like so.
he was sleeping 8 hours a night.
8 hours a day.
He actually had. I watched a video on YouTube. It was like nearly the final day, and he had a pie chart. Someone did a pie chart for him of exactly what he did, and 24% of his stream was sleeping, which he then calculated out was 8 hours.
Passive income.
He was like, "Oh, I'm
literal passive income."
And then he was like, he said what percentage of his stream was going to the toilet. Yeah. And he went to how his average earnings. So he was like, on average, I got about $25 to $30 every time I took a crap. It was great.
Lucky
the thing is, though,
bastard.
The thing about the 31 days is tomorrow, everybody that's subbed with a Twitch Prime,
gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Would be able to resub. So it probably would have went forever.
Oh, it would have gone forever. And obviously he did stop because he wants to stop, and he knew it could go on forever, and this was the best excuse. But then he just said, no, I'm going to push on the fight. It is ending. I am ending it. So if you want me to beat Ninja's record...
Can I leave out of prison, please?
Yes. If you want me to beat Ninja's record, you have to push on this last day. So
I think
it's very clever.
I like, a lot of people would pretend they don't want to do stuff. They'd be like, no, maybe we'll meet Ninja's thing. I don't really want to, that kind of thing. And full on, maybe I respect that, because a lot of people wouldn't say it. They would be too afraid to get the criticism back, because obviously people are like, oh, look at him looking for clout, look at him looking this.
When you get to number 2, you can't. There's no point pussyfooting around it.
No.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he needed 4, and again, I know he was giving all of it to charity, but he needed 4,000 subs an hour to beat his record on the final day. Oh, sorry, yeah, an hour, yeah, 4,000 subs an hour to beat the record.
There's some money on Twitch, isn't there?
Yeah,
shocking. If you could do it right, like if you made it, you'd be rolling the dough. The next bit of news: PlayStation 5 update will allow games to be stored on USB storage. Games that are transferred to the USB storage will not be playable, as they're designed to work off PS5's SSD drive. They'll be eligible to receive automatic updates when you transfer them back to the internal storage. Furthermore, if a game supports the option to install various modes separately, such as single player or multiplayer, you'll be able to transfer only the relevant mode. So they're talking about Call of Duty or something, are they? Other improvements across PS4 and PS5 include cross-generation share play, which will let you share your screen to friends between consoles, regardless of game compatibility. Players will even be able to pass a controller virtually to a friend forward or backwards through the different PlayStation generations. That's good. They had that with they had that with the PlayStation 4, but and say this is between different generations.
Yeah.
So this is just basically you can put your games on a hard drive and download them onto the PlayStation.
Not play them.
Not play them. But
can
you do that on SSD?
No, but I am all for you could, but I'm all for this because I actually have a freaking just a normal ass freaking hard drive, right?
Yeah.
And my internet, like,
that's
it's not the
that's what it's for, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the worst internet in the world, but like it could take if it was an 80 gig game, right? I download that and I need to move it because I want to download a new game. Like at least now I can have my library. Yeah. And it's just about transferring, which so
they're
is way quicker.
They're just hitting the digital console. They're like if you have a digital console.
Weird that it took this long.
I know Xbox. Well, Xbox had it kind of off the bat, didn't they?
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know how the
PlayStation 9 that long.
What?
The PlayStation 5 is not that long.
Oh, we know, but the Xbox,
it's just
the new Xbox
transfer. I don't understand how this isn't a thing that should have worked already.
I think PlayStation are always going to be a little bit behind with Xbox with hardware. It's just because the way Microsoft is, like they have got such an infrastructure, and PlayStation are always going to be that little bit behind, and they always have been with every console. They're behind with their hardware. So, like,
well, the PS4 was definitely a better hardware console than the
original one. Yeah, but they pumped that up, didn't they?
Yeah,
that didn't last too long.
And the PS3 was a stronger console than the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
but it also came out after it.
I think though Microsoft's really taken off in the last 10 years or whatever.
And again, it's well ever since that disastrous. Well, if people want a always an offline version of the Xbox One, we already have it. It's called the Xbox 360. Well, your career's over, sir. See ya.
It was Phil Spencer changed everything.
Yeah. And again, I Ronan, I had this argument before. It wasn't an argument; it was a discussion. And myself and Ronan were talking about, and I was talking about like how, like Xbox are really, really, they're looking like to be the better console, not for games, but just for the way they're innovating and the way they want to put their stuff on the PC. And then there's talks about stuff going on with Nintendo. But he was like, yeah, because they had to. They had to because they were so far behind from the PlayStation 4 generation that it's not goodwill. It's not like, oh, we're so nice now. It's no, we need to make moves, which I do completely agree with that as well.
Can you transfer onto an SSD? No, is it just normal hard drives?
No, SSDs work as well.
But you can't play it off that SSD. It has to be PlayStation 5 SSD.
No, it's not an NVMe.
Yeah, because the whole thing about the PlayStation is how quick the load times is, and they don't want you to be fucking around it and then be sorry for my language, and then they don't.
But
want
it must
you
be just
be
a different type SSD then, as Aiden says, it has to be a different type.
It's an NVMe. It needs not even that. It's a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD. It has like 5 gig a second transfer. It says that the expansion slot for the PS5 isn't ready to midsummer. And that's when they're announcing the list of SSDs you can put into it as well.
At least they're doing something.
No, I'm all for this.
Yeah, it's good. A lot of people do have bad internet, and this is hitting the digital market as well. If you want to get a digital one, it's more reason to get one now. It's because you can just transfer it over and keep your games.
Yes.
But the thing is, I'd like to see the speed of how long it takes off the hard drive to get to the PlayStation again. That's kind of like...
I do it on my Xbox, and it's quite nippy, so I don't think it should be too bad.
A lot quicker than the internet. That's all I care about. For me, my internet.
That's probably for everybody's internet. That'd be true, I'd say. There's a Nintendo Indies World Roundup. There's a few games here. Does any of them stick out to you? Let's TMT Shredder's Revenge. That'd probably be good.
Well, that was the one we showed last, but that just got officially announced for the Switch. Remember, we showed it like 2 weeks ago.
The House of the Dead remake. That'd be good.
That's a good game.
Crisis Tales, maybe. I haven't played it, but probably good.
Longing is an interesting game. That's the one that you were talking
about. The Longing, yeah. The Longing, that looks good. It's like I looked it up, you're right, it's been on Steam for a while. It's basically like, from what I got from the trailer, you're like this little imp thing that's like living underground, and like you have 400 days till your king arises. And basically, you're living out the 400 days. And apparently, there's loads of stuff to find. And you can actually end the game before 400 days if you do enough stuff. And like, it's about you figuring out what's going on, what's happening. And the thing is, it's 400 actual days. So like, the clock is always, once you start the game, the clock is always ticking down. And then after 400 days, the king arises. But obviously, you can finish it before that. It's weird. It just seems very, very unique and strange. And that's why it intrigued me.
Yeah. It is. It's a very interesting looking game.
That's
And
right.
yeah, and the different you'll be given tasks, and the different tasks you'll do will take time off as well, and it'll help you. It'll speed it all up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I first thing I looked up was like, I wonder what the speed run time's like for that game. It's like 2 hours 15.
Not bad for a game that takes 400 days, apparently.
Yeah.
Another one I will say as well, Road 96, because I actually watched the direct. I caught it only like an hour after it came on. Road 96 looks interesting. It's basically like it's the first, maybe not the first time it's happened, but it's the first time I remember something like this, seeing something like this. It's what's the word of the last few years, lads? It's a roguelike. It's a roguelike, but it's a story-driven roguelike. So the story is different every time you go through it. So it's like, I think it starts off differently every time, and then you choose the way you go, but the reactions to what you do, like it will say you punch a guy in the face and he goes, "Do you know what, sir? I didn't expect that. Let me shake your hand." If you punch him in the face again on a different playthrough, he might have a different reaction. So it's like every aspect of it is completely different every time you play it. And they said there's thousands of possibilities, which if that's to be believed, I think that's kind of a cool idea. I've never seen the roguelike being taken not to gameplay but to narrative. So I think that's kind of cool.
Nice. When was it on? The other day?
Ollie World is also a game I think looks really cool. It's a 2D skateboarding like platformer. It kind of looks like half like Trials-ish.
Yeah.
And it looks real fun.
On a skateboard. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks real good.
Why do I always think of Attic as the kid in a skateboard? I know he didn't have a skateboard, but I don't know why I always think of it. Maybe he had that little ball, didn't he? Some of them look. It's very good. I suppose it's good that they're doing the indie titles.
Yes. But there's also Art of Rally was shown, and that's out for a while on PC. I think that might be the perfect Switch game. I'm definitely getting it. That's like a top-down, slightly shifted, like paper cutout rally game, and it's with really good drifting physics, and like it plays really, really well. And the guys who made it, you can tell, really like rallying. Like
top-down, top down, so it's like Micro Machines.
Yes, but at an angle, not
okay.
top down.
Micro Machines are great.
Sorry. A real far out angle.
Do you like my pose, lads?
Your what?
Do you like my pose?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's fantastic. You look like you're really thinking about something.
I really think that's my pose. That's the thumbnail for next week's show right there. Patty's deep in thought here.
You won't believe what Patty's thinking about.
I did it with the essays all day. Just reusing the same fucking one. You won't believe what Aiden said.
You'd be surprised. That's me, like, just before every freaking... It's either like...
Yeah, you have to do it. That's YouTube algorithms. It seems to be working for us tonight, all right. PS exclusive Deathloop has been delayed until September 14th. September seems so far away. It's one of them months. It just seems so far away. It's even if you're in it, it's like next September or last September. It's like, when is it?
It is, yeah.
Same as Christmas. Christmas is always, you ever know, it's the next day after Christmas. Last Christmas always seems far away. Or next Christmas. I don't know why I'm talking.
This is really surprising. Arcane games are fairly complicated.
Deathloop has been delayed again with Arcane Time PS5 console exclusive, moving from its previous May 21st release date to fall release to a fall release, which is American, on September 14th. The news makes the second big delay for Deathloop. Oh yeah, we've been talking about this game forever. We have actually been talking about it forever, which was originally supposed to be out in 2020.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, it looks really good. But to be fair, it feels like we've been talking since the first podcast, and we're on episode 91. Season long, did I mention it? A season long newly released holiday season alongside then the newly released PS5. Oh, it's supposed to come out in 2020.
Yeah, it was meant to be a launch title,
yeah. As with the earlier delay, Arcane's Lion Studio is once again Leon. That's it, Leon. Studio is citing COVID-19 related delays with an increased difficulty in development as it works to ensure the health and safety of everyone at Arcane. Well, it's nearly COVID's over. Do you not hear? Do you not get the news?
Freaking
everything got delayed. Leslie, we're having a big lull now of everything, even TV shows, movies.
I hear the Olympics might be delayed again.
Yeah,
not the Olympics.
They were saying that a lot of people would have to, with the Olympics, what they do is take part and then get out of the country. So it'd be like, take part that day. If you're out, you're out. Get out. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Whatever. And that's what I hope it's not like that. It'd be horrible for them. You'd arrive the day before. You do what you have to do. If you're out, whatever you do that day, compete, get out.
The thing is, if they delay it again, we have the Olympics and the World Cup in the same year.
Yeah, and then what do they do then? Lag it back? Do they do it again in 2 years? Do they do it in 4 years? Because you can't have them all in the same year again.
Yeah,
it's a lot to have them all.
They already delayed the
gamblers
Euros.
would be gone. All the gamblers would have no money left between everything.
Like the Euros is on this year because it got delayed from last year. The Euros is on this summer.
And they hosting it all over Europe this time or something, isn't it? They're doing it in different countries.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seems sketchy with current climate.
I don't know. They can't do it. I feel very. You know what's starting to. It's probably going a bit political, but the media is starting to shift. Do you notice we're getting more about about wars now? Russia's back at war. America.
Yep.
Everything's.
Yeah.
And if you watch the news,
Scared.
the masks are gone. I've started to notice all. You know the way it used to be, every one of them would wear a mask when they're even talking. It's all gone. So they're starting to switch the media now. That's what it feels like. They're trying to keep us scared. America and Russia are going to war. Great. Yes. COVID's over. War.
Again. Yeah. Listen, who freaking knows at this stage, dude? I'm just waiting for me jab. That's it. I'm kind of, and again, I hope this doesn't come across as selfish or anything, because I don't mean it in that way at all. But in my brain now, it's been so long. I'm just not listening to the news about stuff, and I'm just like, just give me jab.
No, but they're definitely switching, John. I don't think. I think it's over. The only people, the poor countries now are going to have it for years. That's the only problem here. Like you're seeing in the news about Brazil, 2,000 people died in one day.
Yeah,
one day.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to seem selfish. I'm not like
India
trying to downplay
is
any.
having it awful as well.
I'm not trying to downplay any of that.
No, definitely not. But that's the thing. The whole world's still going to be. We're still going to be feeling the lag of it for years to come.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I hope that the people are saying people that had it are feeling they've got long lasting problems now with their lungs.
Oh yeah, cardiovascular and yeah. I know a guy who has it. Who had it. One of my friends, and he said he's getting kind of better now, but he said even after it was gone, he said he was just uncharacteristically wrecked for about 2 months afterwards.
That's very nuts. I hope to anyone that had it, I managed to dodge it somehow. But anyone that had it, I hope you are all doing well.
I managed to dodge it, thank God.
Yeah, we all, like everyone, Donegal was riddled in it for a long time, but I don't know how we missed it. It was everywhere, Derry as well, and all that, and it's all calmed down now. Thank but yes. Our last bit.
Yeah. I was going to say tip of the hotspot for a while as well.
It seemed like the whole bloody country was, I suppose. There's a couple of places
true.
I feel, the way you say don't move outside your country, like what about Louth and, people that barely have a country county, don't move outside your county. But Donegal's huge. Epic report is set to lose at least 330 million in efforts to compete with Steam. Epic Games may lose millions after struggling to recuperate costs from the Epic Games Store following its fight to gain market share from Steam. The Fortnite giant spent around 444 million in 2020 on making the storefront more lucrative to PC gamers, mainly through giving away titles for free and exclusivity deals. Blah, blah, blah. According to predictions made by Apple, the Epic Store will not see any profit by Apple.
That's what I was going to say. That was in the air. That was the only reason why I left that in. No, but I only left that in because the next paragraph I thought had to be in, and I was like, "Why the hell is Apple talking about this?" But I had to because I talk about Apple in the next paragraph.
The Epic Store will not see any profitability until 2027 if it continues to operate this way. Apple also projects that the store could lose around 600 million by the end of the year. While Apple claims that this figure is a loss, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney confirmed on Twitter that he considers it a fantastic investment into a growing business. It's the way a lot of businesses run. Disney's probably done it. Twitch has done it. Or Twitch, sorry. Netflix has done it. They've all done. Netflix is in massive debt. Massive
YouTube.
debt. Yeah.
If you read this whole article and change the word lost and spent to invested, it reads entirely differently.
It is.
Yeah.
I can see it where people are saying it is a loss for now, but it's an investment at the same time. They're going to keep going, and they're going to Epic is Epic. To be honest, they do great, and it's what would you say? It's extreme opinions from PC gamers. Extreme opinions always. I hate them in anything. They're always like, no, we must stick to Steam. It's like, why? Like, competition is good. This is good. These Steam might change their ways, make their platform a little bit easier to use because I think it's difficult enough.
I think Steam's a really good store, and I think Epic's kind of terrible.
I think, to be honest, every time I go to sign in to Steam, it just seems like a struggle because sometimes I don't have it on all the time, and every time I go into it to get the password, it doesn't come up, it doesn't store
That's
it.
the two-factor.
Yeah, and it's just so annoying. And then you go back, and then it's just, and then do you know what? It's very hard to find as well. It's very hard to find where your games are downloaded. It just seems to be a bit, maybe because I'm not used to it or something. I don't know. It just seems to be very hard to find.
That's
things.
not hard at all.
It is for me. Okay?
You're right. Click a game and click open folder.
Tell him, man.
Yeah,
How
I
dare
have
you,
to find
Paddy.
the game.
I'm only
I have to
joking.
find it. I'll bring it up right now and show you. It's hard to find.
No, the way I look at it is I can understand, and again, I haven't really messed with the Epic Store too much. Only when it's a game that's only on the Epic Store. That's not got to do with like spite or anything. It's just that Steam has its hooks in me, so
Yeah,
I automatically just go to Steam to see if there's a game out. But I think a lot of the main problems with Epic Store and stuff as well. And again, I actually just really quickly, I know that they give they're great for developers because they give them a more favorable share over there. So that's great stuff that they're doing. But I think a lot of people have issues with it because like they don't have like a surrogate to the Steam Workshop or like the kind of the modding part of it.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people
or a basket.
It's still relatively new though.
You're still going
It's
on with
very
that
new.
basket. Huh?
How old?
It's the
Epic Store,
simplest thing a store should have.
the Epic Store is only like 3, 4, 5 years old. How old is it?
God, I don't know actually.
I'd
That's
say
a
it's
good
only like
question.
5 years, honestly.
When did
Fortnite.
Fortnite hit?
5 or 6 years ago, I'd say at this stage.
Then it's 5 or 6.
yeah.
Fortnite, the Epic Store launched like 6 months into
I love the way
Fortnite.
it's Apple though, like going up against Apple.
Oh, of
They
course.
hate each other.
Also, I think this is a really good parallel of public versus private companies.
Yeah.
Because Apple's a public company, and to them, the idea of losing 400 million on anything isn't a feasible operation.
Will
But
Epic always be a private company?
No, but they are now.
Yeah. They will.
Oh, no, Apple's a public company. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Epic.
Epic's a private company. So the idea of there's no shareholders to answer for, they can invest this money.
I'd say they have a lot more than that. Let's
What?
face it.
Oh, yeah.
More than
Oh yeah, they're
444
doing real
million.
well.
Like
They
Fortnite.
can just launder some of the Fortnite money straight and just like a money transfer,
Yeah.
a big tube.
A lot of people see Epic as the way Apple was in the beginning. They see them as that kind of like the way what's his name? Who created Apple?
I know what you're talking about, Steve Jobs.
Steve
but
Jobs.
I don't think they're comparable. There's any parallel there really at all.
Why?
Apple was always the let's create really sophisticated looking, easy to use hardware
Yeah.
and over market it to people that want
Apple-
really
Apple
good
still-
looking.
Apple still do
easy to
that
use
really
stuff.
well.
I don't-
Maybe-
for
maybe
sure.
Apple still do that really well. It's
Yeah.
always been their thing. But Epic,
But they're kind of making it
sort of
at the start. They're
puts
kind of making
itself
out
as
that
the
they're
everyman
they're-
story.
Yeah, but that's what kind of Apple did at the start as well, where they're going up against the big companies and all that. And Epic is going to try to do that now.
Apple has never been the everyman company.
They tried. They
ever.
tried to be.
They've always
They
no,
kinda-
they didn't. They were the stylish college company. They've never been we're the everyman. We're the premium product for
Yeah.
people that need premium professional products.
So when they
That
came
is
out with that's why Epic was released that the advertisement with going up against when they went up against IBM at the start. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh, you're you're on about
way back, like I'm not about the
yeah.
computers and stuff. Like when they
82.
when they first start. That's what I mean. That's kind
Yeah.
of that's where the parallel kind of comes in.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, that's what I kind of mean at the very start. That's because Epic, even now, they buy massive forestries to keep them alive. They do all this kind of good stuff. I'm not saying sometimes it is just to look good. Roland, what's
Oh
the
well,
story?
yeah. Most stuff that companies do, regardless, it's like the ends justifying the means kind of stuff. A lot of stuff that companies do, even a lot of people who give to charity and stuff, like company wise,
like
is
Conor McGregor.
is for media. Well, allegedly, he's the parent. If you believe what was heard, he gave that fall to charity that time.
Well, but that's I'd say he was I'd say he's telling. Well, maybe he was just putting it off a little bit. It is
What
a lot
a
of money.
week.
What a week, sorry. But he's still fighting. He runs the game. He runs it. He runs the game.
Very hard to give that man the benefit of the doubt. It's like, well, there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
That's it. But it worked. Like it worked. If you are an MMA fan, are you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to me, he is the game. Like every single. Did you see when he said this couldn't go off the game and around? But you see, as soon as he said he wasn't fighting him, and he said, "Get your, it's brand panties night," or whatever the hell he said coming out. He goes, and everyone, about 20 people, said they wanted to fight him straight away because they all want that money. They all want the Conor McGregor money.
But I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
lost his luster. The fact that he like went on Twitter and acted like a child and canceled the fight.
He's
And
kind of
then
always done that.
the next day they were like, well, like he can't
But I
cancel the
think-
fight. The
but I
fight's
think-
happening.
Yeah, but I think he did
Yeah.
that literally so he can bring back his mouthy shit that he's going to do at the perfect conference.
I agree with that as well.
I can buy and
Oh,
sell
you
his.
think you think this is his heel turn?
Oh yeah, it's a heel turn. Yeah, he
Okay.
he has to be. That's,
I think so
that's
too. I honestly thought that as well.
That's Conor McGregor. Like
I think he needs that to
he
get
has
into
to
the
be.
mindset for a
Oh, he
fight.
has to be.
I honestly think.
Never even it's weird that I didn't think of something in stage of wrestling, because to me it was MMA is more of a real thing. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like the last fight made no sense at all. The way he was acting, it's just like stop. This is not you.
I do think the whining and canceling a fight thing doesn't.
Oh, but
help
sure,
him.
he always does it. He always he retired how many times? He always throws it. He always
That's
throws
what I mean. I
he
think
throw-
it's that cloth is getting thin.
When you throw the toys out of the pram, he does it. We can do whatever he wants. It's like Mike Tyson in his prime, or like any of them in their prime. And if McGregor loses one more time, I think it's over. I honestly do.
Yes,
I think
that
it's
is his
over.
problem. I don't.
I think, but he might be. He still has a good chance of beating him. I'm not saying he doesn't. He's a great fighter, but he definitely didn't look as good in his last fight than he has.
He still has to fight Jake Paul at the boxing match after all that.
Jake Paul's dying to fight him. Jake Paul loses to Ben Askren. I don't think he's any chance to fight anyone.
I hope with all my heart and soul. I'm putting my happiness on the line. I would be crushed if Ben Askren doesn't win.
I like the only thing that I think that will defeat Jake Paul in this fight is the fact that he's never been on that stage with such an athlete, because he's not fought somebody that's been in the ring.
I think
with
his
absolute
utter
killers.
lack of skill as a boxer also.
I don't know. I can't say it because I've seen him box, and there is a big. This is going off topic or whatever, but there is levels to it. There's it's like me and you fighting, and then like say you beat the crap out of me. That doesn't mean that you can step in the ring with Conor McGregor and he's not kick the shit out. You know, and that's what the difference is. So he's in with some lad and he's beating him up, but that means nothing. So like if he gets in Ben Askren can't box either. He can't. He always tries to go for takedowns and wrestle people. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. At one stage he probably was. And like this is what the difference is. So when he gets in that ring, like remember, did you watch the last Jake Paul fight?
Yes.
He played the NBA
Your
guy.
man, like
Yes. He was punching with his eyes closed.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is I've stepped in the ring myself a couple of times, and the first time you get in, your heart sinks. You don't know what you're doing. The training, you might as well not have done it, and it's a different feeling. So like your man got into the ring for the very first time in front of millions of people.
That wasn't the first Jake Paul
No,
fight.
the other lad was
Oh,
the other fella,
Oh,
the
yeah.
NBA fella was stepped in the ring for the first time against Jake Paul. It doesn't matter if it was the best fight or the worst fight in the world. His heart is going to go into the floor. It's going to be completely different. It's like, that's why you start off as a novice and you move up. That's why I have to do that, because you have to get in that mindset. Back to gaming.
But I think I was going to say, I think even in winning that fight, Jake Paul looked terrible.
Yeah, no, it's an awful, awful, awful fight, and I couldn't believe he was on the same card as Mike Tyson. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
and you know
That
the
was
worst.
a great show. That was like legitimately such a fun show to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then-
I set up for it.
yeah, I stood up for it too. I accidentally bought. Sky doesn't do the same thing anymore. Remember when Sky used to be able to click in for a minute and you used to be able to watch it, and then it used to tell you that you can buy this now. It used to do that 8 years ago, but now it doesn't. And I clicked it and it just bought. So I was like, I'm watching it now. And I wish it was the worst bit of money I've ever spent, because the Jake Paul fight was absolute crap. Mike Tyson wasn't too bad, but they're really old now. So it was just
That was just more of a-
I still thought for his age, Tyson looked great.
I wouldn't like to fight him.
No, I
Oh,
would,
Jesus.
It doesn't matter what age he is.
Man was
You
straight up
couldn't-
murder me.
you could not pay me enough money to get punched properly by Mike Tyson.
Even on that topic of Mike Tyson, I think that we were in cancel culture and all that kind of stuff now. People forget what Mike Tyson went to jail for. Everyone just lets that wash
Yeah.
away. Just let it didn't happen. He's a great guy. But then if anyone gets accused of the same thing he went to jail for, I'm obviously not condoning any of that shit, but I'm just saying they're gone. But there's a lot of forgiveness and stuff for certain people.
That's the American justice system. You do your time, you come back.
I don't like to be honest. He always denies it. He denies it. If he done it, I still think he's a piece of shit. That's the way I feel. But forgive and forget.
I think there's a general consensus that if you look in the eyes of Mike Tyson now and you look in the eyes of Mike Tyson 30 years ago,
Yeah.
one of those men was a killer and one of them's a teddy bear.
Yeah, But he even says, there was on the Joe Rogan podcast before he decided to come back. He says, I don't want to be that guy anymore. I don't have it in me anymore. And like 5 months later, I'm going to kill that guy. It's like, he said, I worked out and I had to do it. We have another podcast, fighting one. Just podcast. I'll never spend time with my child or my children or my wife or my girlfriend or whatever.
We'll be the Irish McElroys.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Talking of great YouTubers, we're going to talk now about our favorite YouTubers. I was thinking, I brought up this topic, and I don't even think I watch that many gaming YouTubers when I'm actually, but I do have a few that I watch. Like, we'll start off with Aiden. Who was the guys that you like watching?
Okay, so I have a wee list here. I want to open. Who do I want to talk about? So yeah.
I bet you Ronan's eating at the mic. You talking about the fighting and stuff. I bet he's dying to talk about it too.
So the people like Ryan, I don't know, H Bomber guy. He isn't all video game, but his video game stuff is amazing. He's done videos on why Fallout 3 is terrible and why Fallout New Vegas is the best thing that's ever been made.
Yeah.
And stuff about Bloodborne. I think he might be the best video essayist on YouTube. His videos are absolutely amazing. If you want to watch one of his videos, he has a video about a weird Russian game called Pathologic. It's a really long video, but it's fascinating. It's a game I'll never play, but God, it's interesting to hear somebody talk about. It sounds like a miserable experience of a game to play, but it's such an interesting game to hear about.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I watch a couple of like a lot of gaming hardware YouTubers. Taki Udon, ETA Prime, and Wolfden are the 3 I would recommend. These are guys that do like controller reviews, Raspberry Pi stuff, a lot of stuff about emulation.
You love that stuff anyway. I see you emulate everything.
Yeah, I do a lot of emulation stuff. Taki Udon and ETA Prime are like, I can't tell their videos apart. They're so similar. Their voices are similar. Their styles are similar, but they make great stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff about like Android TVs and Raspberry Pis and things like that. Just how you can get them to play games pretty well.
Even like bringing it back, how good is YouTube? Like let's be honest with it. I think it's one of the best. I think it's
one of the
best platforms there is. Our best even like source of media.
It's my main television.
Yeah, I think
legitimately.
It's
Most of my shows I watch are on Netflix. Netflix, YouTube.
I have cancelled basically all of my subscriptions and I've kept YouTube Premium.
YouTube is pretty good. There's a lot of stuff on it you can watch that's not supposed to be able to watch on YouTube. That's another thing as well. A lot of TV shows and stuff go on to it that people they just seem to ignore. They just seem to ignore it and just let it go. People are making loads of money. I have to make one.
Oh yeah.
So I have like 2 more people I want to talk about. First of all is Linus Tech Tips.
Linus is good. It's probably one of my guys as well. Linus is very
love
good.
Linus. Linus is the reason I build computers now. Like I know everything I know about PCs and like hardware comes from him. Genuinely, I think he does incredible service to the internet.
I didn't find that button in there. The DRAM for the thing the other day. Poor Jake.
And the last person I want to talk about is a little old lady called Food for Dogs. And she's an old Australian woman in her 70s that reviews and unboxes JRPGs. And she's absolutely wonderful. She does long videos on like unboxing really expensive collector's editions and talking about her history with the games. She's a massive Vita lover if anybody's really into Vita RPGs.
Yeah.
She has a great channel. Very wholesome.
Nice. Seems a good list of stuff. And you watch all them regularly, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. That's another thing about YouTube as well.
Oh, sorry. Also, No Clip. No Clip is Danny O'Dwyer, who is an Irishman who used to work for GameSpot. No Clip is his channel. He does documentaries on game studios. Because he was involved in Games Press, he has really good access to game studios and has done really good documentaries. And His last one is about the making of Hades. He has like interviews with all the game developers, and No Clip is incredible.
Hades wasn't a good game though, was it? John, what about you?
Again, I watched a lot of YouTube as well. I said it's one of my like favorite. It's my television. I have a big screen right here beside me, and it's actually on pause on right here beside me on the big television.
On the Republic of Players, yeah.
Of course, yeah. I'm watching that. So some lad put out a very good. It was like a leaf. How to get the best leaves in Dark Souls, in Demon Souls tutorial on the Republic. It was very good. People should check it out.
Yeah.
That was me. That was my. I did that.
Yeah.
But no.
I'll tweet the video out.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. No, but for me, it's honestly, there's one guy that I've been watching for a while, and he's just, I don't even know how I describe him. He's like, he's the grumpiest, funniest. There he goes, Paddy. No, his name is Northern Lion, and he is like, he started off being like the OG, one of the OG Binding of Isaac people on YouTube. He literally, his first video, he's completely different. It's before he was famous. He's like, hey, my name is Northern Lion, and he's talking down like this, and like he's like, I'm going to check out this new game. It's a great name. It's great. I'm going to check out the Binding of Isaac. It's this new game. We'll see what happens. I might play it for a while. What was that 9 years ago, 10 years ago? He still releases Binding of Isaac episodes now. He's loving it now because Repentance came out. But it's not just that, because he's pivoted recently, and by recently I mean the last 4 or 5 years. Like that, he's now like a variety person, and he just plays a load of indie games and like a load of kind of weird like retail manager games and like stuff like drive and test games. He plays kind of really odd games. He's a bit like Jerma, if you know Jerma. He plays kind of very kind of odd games, but you're not watching it for the games he's playing. You're watching it because he's genuinely just really funny. Like he'll tell a story about going to the grocery store,
yeah,
and it's hilarious. And like it's literally just the way he's like one of those people that's like angry at the world. Like he'll be giving out. He's always giving out. He gives about everything. He gives out to his chat, but like not in a toxic way, just in a you don't know what you're talking about. Like he'll get really like stubborn, and he'll get really just kind of like, no, listen, I appreciate you, but and then he'll go on this massive like 20-minute rant. But like the rant itself is freaking hilarious. And he never takes advice, and he always does stuff his way. And his Sekiro playthrough is actually like maddening. It's actually like, I know this doesn't
Is there
sound
anyone
good.
that you take influence, John, on your YouTube list?
Probably Northern Line a little bit, just because I try and be I try and like, I don't think it's about the game that you're playing. I think it's about interacting with your audience.
They're definitely there to see you, not the game.
So I think he's taught me that, and just always talking to your chat. I don't really know. That's a tough question. I've kind of always just kind of, all I do is just talk and play video games. I don't know where I got that from. So I actually did. To be honest with you, Paddy, I need to think about that a bit more, because I never actually thought where that came from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, he's great. I have to also give a shout, because I only thought about this afterwards. I gave a shout out to DOG, because anytime he drops a video, I'll still watch it, and he's going to take you back to the past. He's freaking, it's the angry video game nerd, man.
Is he still dropping videos?
Yeah. He's still dropping videos.
Still watch them.
Like you'll watch a video. He'll release a video every 3 and 4 months. Like he'll release like 4 videos.
He has to be
year.
definitely one of the OG YouTubers. That is.
Oh,
he's creative content. He's very, very talented man.
He is the first any
no
guy
Angry Joe or anything like that. They came from him.
Every guy giving out about a video game. It came from.
He's so animated. It's just
before YouTube. He was on what you probably know. Name of the website.
Cinemassacre.
Yes, he was on Cinemassacre before YouTube.
Does he own that?
Yeah. It was on before YouTube. So a lot you'll see like a lot of like YouTube started in 2006, 2005. So you'll see uploads from 2007 that it'll put the date like in white writing at the bottom, and it'll say like my Cinemassacre review from 2004. So like he's been doing this since like nearly 20 years.
I put him on my list too. He is like, I definitely. The problem with YouTube as well is if you don't watch a video in a while, you won't see them again. That's the only problem I have with that. You have to hit the bell or you won't, because there's even people I was watching a few weeks ago that I don't see anymore now because that's the algorithm. I don't like that about YouTube, but sorry, John, go on.
No, it's same. Like it's ever like if you're on a YouTube as long as we've been and you're into this game and stuff, you know who we're talking about. Like he's he started so many like freaking tropes, and he's got so many.
He does
people,
movie reviews now as well, doesn't he?
He does. He loves movies. And some of his movies reviews.
That's why City Massacre. That's why I was kind of thinking that was him.
He does like some great deep dives into horror movies, like the old classics like Frankenstein, old black and white movies, and they're actually very, very good. And his movie reviews aren't the angry movie man. He does them as him. He's not his character, and he James Roth, and he goes into the movie like a proper review, but like skits in your reviews, having a character, just like everything
to kill the pain.
Everything.
Creative content. He puts some effort in. Actually writes it out, does it properly. Probably takes a couple of weeks to make the bloody video, and then just puts it out. Brilliant.
But just
actual well-written jokes.
Yeah.
He's the literal blueprint, and he inspired
a lot.
So many, and he's still funny, and like I still watch his videos. He's great.
I agree.
You're covering my list. I suppose there's one there. It's very close to Ronan's name, but it's I don't know if he's heard of him. Alphagaming.
Yes, I have.
He's very good. He a lot of informational stuff about tech, a lot of informational stuff about how to stream. He's very much an entrepreneur. He's very talented. He's a good-looking guy. No, if you haven't checked him out, do check him out. If you're into tech, gaming, he's actually after moving to. He's one of the guys I was talking about. I didn't say it on live, but he's moving from Twitch to YouTube. And one of the reasons
I saw that video.
Yeah, I saw that the other day as well. And the reason he's doing it is because of the shorts. And I don't think he likes Twitch, to be honest. I just don't think. And I think a lot of the times when people are spreading themselves out wide, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of platforms. Giggity goo. There's a lot of platforms these days. But he's definitely one of my favorite. Every time he releases a video, I'll go watch it. I think he's very, very. He gives a lot of great information out. How to stream. I think he's given me a lot of ideas. There's another fella called, is it Dan Destiny or something like that there. He's kind of the same thing. He's an expert. He's a digital marketer and he's into gaming, and he talks to a lot of Twitch streamers. He talks about their platforms. He talks about, I think you know his name, John, actually. I can't bloody remember his name now.
Who's this? Sorry.
That's who he was talking about. He's like Dan or something like that there, but he's very good. Another lad, John, I would recommend Too Old for Gaming if you haven't checked out his stream.
No.
I would. I actually would, John. I love your videos. Every time a video goes up, I'll watch it. It's one of the. One of them's up there now. I don't think you get enough credit. I think people need to check out.
I genuinely really enjoy your videos.
Yeah, I think the people need to check out.
I tweeted the one you were self-plugging there a second ago.
I think you need to check out him as well. Obviously, Pestily.
Check him out.
Pestily's a great streamer. I think he's very influential on content creators. I think he's amazing. I think he does some great work for charities. He puts some massive effort in on his Twitch streams. He puts massive effort in all year round. It's like
Pest is the man.
He's like you can actually see the work he puts in all the time, and he's like so easy going, and it just works for him.
He's got a fantastic setup as well. Did you ever hear him talk about where he's like, I'll sit down, I'll play the games, I record the content, I do the streams, and he's like, everything, meetings, business, everything, is his wife. And she's like, that's her job. Her job is to make sure that he makes money, and like she's making money off because they're a couple. And she schedules the meetings, she does all the all busy work. He's basically you sit down and play video games. I'll do the rest.
That's why it kind of works. I think that's like a manager. That's a lot of that in these days. There's a lot of
having
that stuff.
A producer makes things a lot easier.
It does. It's very hard. All this stuff is difficult. Like even ourselves, we know what it is. Even all the digital marketing and all the stuff that goes in. Even like setting up tonight's video. All the stuff you have to write under it, all the keywords, all this, that, and the other thing, and you're still getting feck all. So it's just, do you know what I mean? It's a difficult thing to get into. It's very hard. It's very hard to get seen these days because it's so swamped. There is a lot of talented people out there that are not getting the recognition they deserve.
You'd have to like it. You'd have to generally either like just do stuff that is like you don't want to do, but you think is going to get clicks, and just keep grinding away at it that way, or you generally have to like what you're doing, or else it will drive you crazy.
There's a lot more. I think it's 80. Like even myself thinking tonight, like I'm sitting here looking at and stuff, and it's like probably 80% of it is outside of the podcast, or 80% of it's outside the video. It's not the content itself; it's what you do after the pushing, the tweeting, the fecking, all this and that. And
that's what I'm the worst at as well. By the way, going into it is the app is the pushing. I say it on Twitter, I say it on Facebook, and I go, job done.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not like that.
No,
in my opinion,
I need a manager. I just can't freaking afford one.
In my opinion, like I've been studying and never. In my opinion, it's trends. You have to hit the trend. Like when even with the new podcasts and stuff, I'd prefer. It's not possible because we're too busy, but I prefer to do it on the Friday during the day, which is not possible, obviously, working, that. But if you did it straight after the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode, way more chance. Way more. Hit. People are searching for it. Hit that episode straight up. You will get found. That's honestly it. I think that's what you have to do. Trends.
Oh, yeah, sure. Look at
videos fast, going quick.
New rock stars, any of them.
New rock stars straight away. But but even myself, when WandaVision was on, WandaVision is a lot more about Easter eggs and figuring this out and figuring that out. I'd text in and say, just watch it or whatever that, and then I'd watch it in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, as soon as I come out, get up, and then when I go downstairs, if I have a few minutes or whatever, I go to YouTube, see if anyone's put a video up yet. I'm searching for it. There is none. But like people will be searching, do you get me?
Oh yeah.
So that's where I think that's my opinion on it. We just have to do it right. I do love doing it. I love this stuff. I love YouTube and I love all that. To be honest with you, just keep going. As they say.
Also,
yeah.
While we're here, I would like to shout out. I don't know if anyone ever heard of the channel All Gas No Breaks.
I haven't.
No.
All Gas No Breaks was a channel. A guy called Andrew Callahan, who he's this big, tall, lanky fella with curly hair who wears a suit and goes to these weird events and just lets people talk into microphones, like anti-vax rallies or like that big motorcycle rally, and just it's one of my favorite YouTube channels ever, but it disappeared a few months ago and it came back this week. It's now called Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, and I would highly recommend it.
Nice.
And it's just him in Florida during spring break letting absolutely terrible people say terrible things into a microphone. He's incredibly unassuming, and he just has the best. It's that Louis Theroux thing of knowing when not to talk.
Oh yeah, letting them dig their own grave.
Yeah, letting them dig their own grave.
I love Louis Theroux.
Louis Theroux is fantastic.
I wish he'd release more. I know it's hard. I wish documentaries come out from him every few months because he's unbelievable.
I
love his stuff.
Everything he's done, he has that
he's
amazing
so good.
ability to get
he's
people
just so
to
good.
admit to these things that they shouldn't be saying out loud.
And then he just questions it, but he questions it in a way to make them question themselves. And just stands there waiting for the response. Like, it's brilliant.
He's a master manipulator.
Brilliant.
Best of way.
Shout out to Ronan as well, Alphagaming. Puts up some great videos as well when he does put them up. It's all hard to get time to do them.
He puts
up some great videos. So
he does some fantastic content.
Yeah. So check him out. All Cast Irish Gamers as well. They've got some good videos up there. So I think they do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and they do put up a great. I think they're starting the podcast back up again, hasn't they? So shout out to all the Irish crew out there making YouTube videos, because I don't think there's that many of them. A lot of people do streaming. I always kind of think as well, streaming and the difference between streaming and YouTube is massive.
100%.
There's streaming is just barely content creation. Like, and I know it's harsh to say that. It depends what you're doing. I think. Go on.
No, I think I was going to say the exact same point you were going to say.
I think there's a big difference. There's a massive difference between a YouTube video and a stream. Well, it depends how much editing you put into. I think a proper YouTube video has some great editing, but it's a lot of fucking effort.
What I'd say is that I think you were about to touch on it. Was that it also does depend on the streamer. Like
definitely.
I sit down and I play a video game and I'm streaming. It's relatively low effort. But some people, like, they come up with new ideas. They're always doing new stuff. They're always like,
they have people interactive with the chat, interacting with games, doing that.
And they have like, now it's the wibbly wobbly hour, and everybody gets double the stubs where I do a wibbly wobbly.
Spend the next half an hour opening packs. I'll get the camera down.
It's like, do you know what I mean? There are people who generally put in effort and like do crazy stuff that takes a lot of forethought and a lot of planning as well. But then there's people like me who sit down and we're going to play a Dark Souls randomizer, boys. Sit in.
Sometimes it works. I was kind of just touching on it. It definitely does depend on the streamer. But it's just like a pilot. You could probably go on to a big conversation about it, but we've been going on a while. But like, shout out to all the content creators. I know it's harder here for a pimp.
Thank you for making my life easier.
Yeah,
but I'm going to bring in the wibbly wobbly hour. I don't know what it is, but it sounds amazing.
Wibbly wobbly hour. I'm in.
Also, Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb are the best.
Oh yeah, Giant Bomber.
Who's that? There's another massive YouTuber. I think they're English. What are they called? They're huge games.
Whatculture.
Whatculture.
Oh,
Biggest ones in the
God.
world, I think, aren't they?
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you're probably a Cultaholic fan,
I am a cultaholic fan.
right? Explains that one.
Yeah.
That's all. The Cultaholic are more about wrestling stuff, is it?
Yeah, but they have
Yeah.
a sister gaming channel as well called Triple Jump.
Do they have loads of channels? I know Whatculture have loads of channels. They're
Just
like,
two, just Triple Jump.
I think Whatculture have like 8. First,
Yeah.
what I remember, they do a comic one. They do it like I think it's maybe a good idea to split it up, but that's
I do think the guy that was like a tyrant has left the place, so it's not as bad as it was. But like for a while, there was a guy who was running Whatculture was a tyrant.
Nice. How about we get out of here? What do you think? This has been the Republic of Players podcast. Episode 91, I think it is. Aidan, where have you been? Where will you be when we leave
You
here?
can go on this name on Twitter,
California.
and you will find that I tweeted a video from John, and you should go and watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, thank you.
John?
Go. Sorry, that's too sick. Go F yourself, my truck. Go check me out on 20 for Gaming. That's TOOLD for Gaming with a 4 in the middle, all one word. For content, check me out on YouTube and Twitch. And for my socials, it's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All 20 for Gaming on everything.
Yeah, if you can't spell it, it's under him as well.
It's not. It's John. It's John. For some reason, it's my name.
It's not. It's 2 for Gaming on YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Paddy has a nice fancy overlay up.
Oh, yeah.
I
I can't see that on the old Zoom now, Paddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You looked a bit zoomed in. I don't know what it is. I tried to fix it, but it didn't work. You can catch me anywhere you see the Republic of Players. You can catch me anywhere you see Buy and Play. We also have another podcast here next Tuesday, all about comic books. It'll be episode 6 of what's called Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, episode 5 of Falcon and the Soldier.
Yeah,
Episode 6.
it's a bit confusing, but
This is going to be confusing.
yeah, it's confusing. We'll get there. Shout out to Alpha Fox Gaming. He can follow him on his Twitch. That's where he streams. He says he'll be doing a DJ set this weekend because he's going to get drunk. So
They're always great.
Nice.
they're always good. He's very talented at that. Shout out to Pat. He's probably going to release the video on the YouTube soon. He actually released some videos on his own YouTube. I think it's Pat Gone Mad. I'm not sure if it is that.
Pat, I don't know the YouTube. His Twitter is Pat Gone Mad with an
Yeah,
R.
Pat Gone Mad. But
Pat
he's
Gone
released
Mad,
he's getting into some voiceovers on some animations, which are pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah, he loves that stuff.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
it's on his YouTube there now. So go check that out. And if you have been here not watching the
He's
football,
a thespian.
I don't. I'm when the Champions League on. We don't get much viewers, but we're glad if anyone comes to see us. And we'll catch you this time next week.
Go on the all snow.
Same video game time, same video
game channel.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out, homies.
I'm gonna roll a cigar.
Bye.
Roll a cigar.